More content to us consumers is usually a pretty good thing. More game modes means more variety, more types of quests means more busy work we can use to pass some time, and new, shiny things are generally more exciting than the old ones. Now, despite the fact that Overwatch launched with a $40 price tag as opposed to a $60 premium AAA one, it started off on the back foot when it comes to the content they offered. A very limited amount of game modes with competitive play lacking altogether in a PvP-only game mode often mean the downfall for many titles. Many players bought into it nonetheless, trusting Blizzard's promise of adding new, free content down the line. And they did. We've seen the introduction of the arcade featuring a variety of different game modes that take an open approach when it comes to their rule sets. We've gotten the server browser with custom, user-created lobbies, and of course, we're also getting limited time events that bring new content on a regular basis. Now, quite frankly, I find it almost insulting to label an update that only brings new cosmetics to the game a content patch for the sole reason that these items are locked behind randomized loot boxes. Cosmetics used to be something you can work towards very deliberately, now they are hidden behind chance. And it's not like you really do anything differently when trying to acquire them. You either pull out your credit card or you keep playing the way you always have in hopes of getting that one skin that you really wanted. As much as quick play and competitive play are the bread and butter of Overwatch, the development team has proven to us that additional content is not something that they shy away from. And they do put in the effort to back up their reputation too. The most recent example during the Year of the Dog event that showcased a brand new map specifically made for the CTF game mode, which in itself has seen some fundamental changes to its rule sets to provide a better experience, should prove that they care about their quote-unquote side content. As fun as these game modes are, they are only sticking around for a very short amount of time, and that only once per year during the event that they are tied into. While we have been getting new game modes added to the arcade, most notably FFA and smaller scale PvP brawls, which also have been granted a couple specifically dedicated maps, the question arises, should they put more effort into the creation of permanent content? And I mean not just adding more skins. As much as it might sound like plenty when I mention all the new things that they implemented, it has been added to a game that was very obviously lacking content from the very beginning. So what kind of new permanent content could they add which would be a worthy addition to the base game? And are there maybe even some arguments against it? Well, first and foremost, I want to talk about more simple additions. Not a brand new game mode or a set of maps or even a spin-off type alternative within Overwatch. I want to start things off with basic additions like daily quests or missions, for example. Now, that might not sound all that spectacular at first, but there are good reasons for adding in a system like this. And for comparison's sake, I want to bring up another game that implemented this very well throughout multiple iterations, and that will be Dirty Bomb. In Dirty Bomb, you got multiple types of XP that you can acquire while playing. There's combat XP, which you get for just clapping the enemies. There's also support XP, which you get for healing and reviving, and then there's also objective XP, which you get for, you guessed it, completing objectives, and there are even more types than that. The reason that this matters is because their mission rotation plays into those different types of XP. Sometimes they ask you to play a specific character and or gain a specific type of XP. Okay, but why does that matter? Well, with a cast of characters that is ever expanding, it is a good idea to encourage players to get their hands on a variety of them. In an organic way, try to push them towards learning different aspects of the game. Since Dirty Bomb is about mercenaries trying to make a quick buck, you can imagine that acquiring in-game currency is what you will be spending your time doing. So players are obviously always looking for the fastest way to get rich, and this is where those missions come into play. In order to make a good amount of in-game currency, the game pushes you towards acquiring different types of XP and engage in different aspects that matter for overall team success. If we go back to Overwatch now, there really is no reason to ever expand your roster if you really don't feel like it. The game never encourages you to learn how to play a variety of characters, but a quest rotation type system could do exactly that. I think it goes without saying that progression in Overwatch is very painful, with events coming on a regular that feature limited time skins that cost a fortune, we are encouraged to keep our currency balance low to even acquire the new skins in the first place. There's nothing you can reliably work towards in Overwatch. We're just sitting here playing for playing's sake. And that is kind of the problem, I think. Naturally, the fact that we are willing to do exactly that, endure all the problems in the game that frustrate us, and keep on playing even without a constant stream of meaningful rewards, speaks in favor of the game not needing any such systems. It's the they will suck it up anyway kind of vibe that we are giving off as a player base. The benefits of encouraging players to expand their roster and acquire new skill sets while working towards more rewards might sound really good on paper on so many levels, but why bother if we are fine doing what we're doing right now anyway? If they gave us more ways of acquiring cosmetics or XP, then we'd have less reason to pump money into cosmetics. And doing that when, quite frankly, nobody is complaining just does not make sense from a business standpoint. Though in that sense, to me, it is really more about compensating for the fact that the game does absolutely nothing to push players towards playing the game properly. They toss us into a sandbox telling us we can do whatever, and then they are surprised when people complain that others are ruining their matches. So again, more than for the sake of getting more rewards, I love for this to be implemented just for the sake of giving players a reason to learn different heroes and different aspects of the game. And that ties into another type of content that I would also love to see introduced, a practice range specifically tailored to each hero in the game. Kind of like the tutorial run that you do as Soldier 76, but a bit more challenging towards the end, with meaningful metrics that players can review in order to find out if they are getting better. Honestly, I don't think we need a ton of new content in the form of additional game modes and the like. Of course, it would be a nice to have if we did get these, and personally, I'm a big fan of the idea of introducing more competitive game modes like CTF, FFA, and 4v4 permanently. But what I feel like this game direly needs are systems in place that further progression. Meaningful progression, not only in the form of cosmetics and other in-game goals, but also player progression for their own skill's sake. Sure, I could talk about the idea of adding PvE scenarios for each of the heroes that would be really cool and engaging, featuring yet unseen bits of lore and the like, and don't get me wrong, I'd love to see that. But when talking about what is realistically approachable, I don't want to bring up all the obvious culprits that everyone is talking about anyway, like a story mode or similar types of PvE content. As much as these things are really fun and cool in the beginning, so far none of them had the staying power necessary to warrant the effort in my opinion. Like, the Uprising event was really cool, but the thought of them bringing that back this year without changing or adding anything already bores me in advance. And quite frankly, I was kinda done with that game mode after the first day of playing. Here's hoping that they improve on the formula and actually do something in favor of replayability. But again, permanent content to me does not have to be all that complicated. But alright, I think I'm gonna call it here. It's already quite late in the evening and I feel myself rambling on and on. So as always, my friends, drop down into the comment section below and let me know what kind of new content you would love to see added to the base game. But until then, thank you everybody so much for watching. Don't forget to drop me a like on your way out if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and I hope to see you all next time.